going to show you how to make an Autolyse. Before I make the Autolyse, I'd like to explain why we do it and what the results are. Basically, we're going to take the water and flour and incorporate those two and just create a shaggy mass, not really develop anything. What happens is, this allows time for the water to penetrate and hydrate the flour. That will enable the gluten-forming proteins to uncoil so that when we do start mixing and linking them together, they can link together more efficiently. It will reduce mixing time, which will reduce dough oxidation. If we can reduce the oxidation, we improve crumb structure, cell structure, the color of the crumb, which will be creamy. In other words, we're not destroying the carotenoid pigments, which provide a lot of flavor to the bread. It will improve extensibility due to the protease activity. By not including salt and yeast in here, we have no fermentation going, and the salt isn't inhibiting or regulating any enzymatic activity. Protease is an enzyme that mellows gluten. That will give us that extensibility, which will improve the volume and the openness of the crumb. The way to do the Autolyse, or the way to affect it, is just to incorporate the flour and water and make a shaggy mass. So I'll do that now. So here we have, after about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and again, the time is not critical so much as the state of the dough. And at this point, you can see we have a wet, shaggy mass. There's really no development whatsoever. We'll leave this for 1 hour. A true Autolyse needs a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes. We're going to Autolyse 1 hour to maintain or obtain the maximum benefit. So after 1 hour, you can see that we actually have a little bit of extensibility and a little bit of elasticity forming with no mixing, just from the flour hydrating for 1 hour. So I have 70-degree water and the instant active yeast. I have twice the weight of the water compared to the yeast. And I want to make a slurry. This will facilitate the yeast integration into the dough. So now I'll take the yeast and I'll scrape it in. I usually take one little piece of dough and use it to clean this bowl so that I don't leave any yeast behind. Sprinkle the salt and mix on first speed. So now we're incorporating the salt and the yeast on first speed. Once it's fully incorporated, you can't go to second speed. You can reduce your mix time by up to 50%. You'll just have to experiment with different doughs to find out what that point is. You will observe increased extensibility, increased volume, improved cell structure, improved flavor, and a more open, creamy crumb.